Hey friends, welcome back to the Handyman Journey. I'm Alan Lee, your host, and today the topic of today's video is going to be how to start a handyman business. So this YouTube channel is all about starting up or growing your handyman business. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the subscribe button below. But let's get started on today's video. Okay, a little outline for how to start your handyman business is there's a few things that you're going to want to think about. So outline what you will do, what type of work you will do. You'll do market research of other handyman businesses in your area. Find mentors. Create a business plan. Establish your pricing. Advertise. Invoicing and scheduling platform. And implementation and evaluation. So that's an outline of things that we're going to be talking on today's video. So let's get started on the first one. So what type of work you will do. This also leads into another thing about naming your business. There's a big debate about naming your business, whether you should use the word handyman or home repair, or people have all different types of ideas. So it really all depends for what you want as a personal person. Do you want to be called a handyman? Do you want to be called a home repair expert? What do you want to be called? For me personally, I like the word handyman. I think that there's power in the word handyman. It really encompasses all kinds of things. So your first thing when you are thinking about starting up your own handyman business is you're going to want to look at what type of work you will do, right? Not everyone is gifted in every single platform that a handyman does. I completely understand that, and what I would encourage you to do is start out with your strengths, and then from there grow a little bit and start digging into the things that you're less strong in. So if you are really good at painting, start advertising painting jobs. Another thing with that is you're going to want to make sure that you look deep into the legality issues of being a handyman in your area, because every single area all around the US, all around the world is a little bit different. So some handyman, in certain parts of the US, they can build a whole house. Some handymen in certain parts of the area, they can only do this amount of work per house or per day or things like that. So there are a lot of different aspects as far as it goes in the legal issues as far as a handyman. So you're going to want to find out what you can do, and you're going to want to go from there. So if you are good at painting, start advertising painting jobs. When you're there painting, say, a bedroom, someone might say, oh, hey, I got a kitchen faucet that's leaking. Can you come take a look? And maybe you're not going to be, a super plumbing expert, but you can tell them, say, hey, I haven't done much of that, but I would love to take a look and see what I could do. And then take a look at it and try and, gain a little bit more experience while you're still doing your painting stuff. So I would start out small and then grow from there. That's what I would recommend as the, tip number one for starting up your handyman business. Find out what you want to do and basically grow from there. Another big part about starting up your handyman business is do market research of other handyman businesses in your area. So you may have this great idea of starting up a handyman business, think it's going to bring in all kinds of money, but really in your area, no one wants a handyman, or there's not much handyman business going on, or the economy sucks, or maybe the weather is super horrible all year long, so there's just nothing to do, especially outside. So this is fairly easy. Call other handymen in your area, basically. Google handyman in your area, basically, and you'll get a whole list of handymen, and go ahead and give them a call and ask them what the handyman business is like in your area. When I first started up my handyman business, I did this. I called about 6 handymen, left a voicemail for them, and about 2 of them called me back, and one of them really gave me some really great information as far as it goes into market research of the handyman business in my area. He gave me information on pricing, marketing, kind of what the economy was in our area, and that really led into, establishing my price and, getting my advertising going and things like that. So we're going to be talking about those a little bit later in this video. And then the next thing you're going to do is find mentors. And this may come from the step above where you had the market research and you're calling other handymen. Those handymen may become your mentors. You never know. But having a mentor is so important. A lot of people think that, oh, I can do this myself. I can carve this way. I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone's help. I don't need anyone's advice. But in reality, there are people out there that have done this stuff. And they've done this stuff, and now they desire to teach other people how to do it as well. What I would encourage you is stop looking at those people stop looking at them like, oh, they're just money hungry and they want my money, right? No, look at them like they are people who have done, they have what you want, and they want to help you get there, right? So for us, we have spent so much money on personal development, one thing, and then also business development, pouring into mentors, buying courses, going to seminars. It's very important to plug yourself in to other like-minded people. And more often than not, wanting to start your own handyman business probably don't have a lot of sole proprietor friends or friends that have their own businesses. That's just the nature of it, right? So it's important to surround yourself with other people that have like-minded businesses or just businesses in general. So very important to find mentors. Next thing, establish a successful business plan. This is so important, and a lot of people don't take the time to do this. But sit down and write out a business plan. First thing, why you're doing this business. Why do you want to be a handyman? Why not just go work at McDonald's? Like, why, right? That's a very good question. How are you going to do it? So how are you going to implement this handyman business? How are you going to make money? And what are you going to do? That goes back to what type of work you're going to do. So why, how, and what? Those are very important things to ask yourself, and really sit down and establish yourself so that you can have a successful business for years to come. I mean, the fact of the matter is that most businesses do not survive through the first year. And the ones that do survive the first year, they fail within the next 5 years. That is the cold, hard reality. And what makes it where you're not going to be that statistic is having a successful business plan and doing your market research. All of these steps is what's going to make you still be in business 10 years from now. So it's your idea to follow this or not. So next thing you're going to do is establish pricing. I did a really in-depth video on this. I will link it up here so you can take a look at that. Very important to establish your pricing, because if your pricing is not something that will sustain you, then your business will not be sustained at all. And you also need to figure out if your market can sustain your pricing as well. It's very important as well. So establishing your pricing is key. In that video that I talk about how to establish your pricing, and also add profit to your pricing and how much you should add and things like that, and doing some market research and things that I really think are key to establishing your pricing. Next thing on the list of how to start a handyman business is advertise. Now, I've been asked by so many people, hey Alan, what's the best strategy to advertise? And what I tell them is, I don't know what the best strategy is in your area. I could tell you what works in my specific area, but that doesn't do anyone in Tennessee, right? Or Nebraska, or Florida. Like, I don't know what type of advertising works best in your area. I can tell you what I've had success with, but that doesn't mean it's gonna work in your area. The things that I've implemented here in my handyman business won't necessarily work for you if you're in Dallas, Texas. But things in Dallas, Texas might not work for me here. So it's very important to do that. So I also have a really good advertising video that shows you how you can find out what type of advertising works in your area. I'll link that up here as well. You guys can take a look at that. But very important to find out what type of advertising platform works in your area, and don't be afraid to invest in that advertising. Same thing as finding a mentor, right? People see this like dishing money out as they're losing money. No. It takes money to make money. That's how business works. So very important to find out what advertising platform works for you and invest in that heavily. And then if you're expecting growth in your business, maybe you're looking at bringing on more employees, you're going to want to bump that advertising up as your business grows. Because if you don't advertise, or if you get to the point where you're like, oh, I have enough clients, I can stop advertising. That's usually the point where your business starts failing, because you can never have enough clients. Yeah, clients keep coming back year after year, and they tell their friends, which is great. Word of mouth is super awesome. If you can get that train going, you are set. But you also want to be bringing in new clients, because things happen, right? You never know what's going to happen with those word of mouth clients. You want to make sure that you're always bringing in new clients and sustaining the word of mouth clientele as well. Next thing is establishing a good invoicing and scheduling software. Now that also software and platform that also implements estimating and invoicing. So what I personally use is Market. Currently here in 2020, I use Market. And I really like them. They have really great invoicing and estimating software as well. And you also want to find out a scheduling platform that works for you. Market has a scheduling platform integrated into it. I personally find it easier just because I'm Google everything to use Google Calendar and schedule everything on the Google Calendar. But again, it's whatever works for you and whatever platform you want to end up using. There's a lot of free invoicing and estimating softwares out there. There's like Wave, there's Joist, or Joist actually charges now. There are a lot of different things that you can do, a lot of different things that you can choose from, but you need to choose one of them and stick with it. And also, you want to get one that matches your persona, your ethos as a business. So this also goes back to business plan, right? So in my business plan, we're a very professional company. We stage ourselves as the largest handyman business in California. So what kind of invoicing and estimating software is going to match that persona? That's what we're trying to do. So the last thing on the list is implementation and evaluation. It's very important to implement all of these strategies and then evaluate yourself, maybe monthly, yearly, 3 times a year. You want to evaluate yourself and go back to all of these key strategies and find out, am I doing this right? Do I need more mentors? Do I need to maybe tweak my business plan? Do I need to tweak my pricing? Do I need to tweak my advertising? Is this working? Is this not? And this all comes from establishing systems in your business so that you can learn what you need to maybe change up a little bit so that you can make more money and be sustained down the road. Another huge part of starting your handyman business is learning how to run a business, how a business is structured. And for this, I would highly recommend you get the E-Myth Revisited. That's the book that I read, completely changed my thought on business. The E-Myth Revisited is a great book. Highly recommend it for learning how a business is structured and things like that. So this video has been a little bit of an outline how to start a handyman business. I hope you guys learned something. I would love to hear your thoughts on this and also love to hear where you're at in your handyman journey. So leave me a comment in the comment section below with just your name and your handyman business and how long you've been in business and maybe what you learned from this video. I would love to hear it. Also, like this video and subscribe to this channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, you are for sure missing out on some great content. So I'd love to have you in the subscriber category. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a fantastic day.